This is cover test principles for V551, ocular motility and refraction. Cover test is the method by which we determine the natural eye position of the two eyes. Fusion is the process by which two eyes' images are combined into a single perception. We have an example here where somebody's trying to look at a target, and our eyes had to move together, move in to fixate on that single target to make it single. Neurons and EOMs must work together to maintain a single and clear image. This requires energy. There are two types of fusion: motor fusion, or the use of vergence movements to position the eyes to corresponding points, and then there's sensory fusion, the neurophysiological psychological process of combining two images into the visual cortex. For the most part today, we'll be focusing on motor fusion, the use of vergence eye movements to position the eyes correspondingly. Versions are a binocular movement or rotation of the eye in the same direction. That's opposed to vergence movement. A vergence movement is a binocular movement of the eye in opposite directions. An example of that would be convergence as we look up close. As we converge, both eyes need to move in, which is in the opposite direction of each other. An example of a version test that we do would be EOMs, where we look at how the eyes align as they look left, right, up, down. Cover test is the test we do to measure vergence, how the eyes are opposed to each other and their natural eye positions. To maintain single fused vision, the EOMs and brain need to exert energy through vergence movements of the eyes. And this is done through a complex pathway, motor-neural pathway, which will be gone into in future courses in future years. A deviation is a difference in the eye between the two eyes, the eye position between the two eyes. Phorias or heterophorias are deviations that still can be compensated with vergence eye movements. Tropias or strabismus, on the other hand, are deviations that cannot be compensated with a vergence eye movement. Let's watch a video to get some more ideas on that. Here we have two eyes. They're both centrally and they're both fixating on a target. We want to break down that fusion so we can get to the true idea of what their true eye position is. We're going to do that by instilling this cover paddle over the left eye. I've made it so you can see through to see what the eye moves. That eye moves as it's underneath. Now that we've broken fusion, that left eye has no more ability to fixate, so it is allowed to go to its resting state. It could be in, it could be out, it could be up, or it could be down, or it can be a combination of vertical and horizontal deviations together. Either way, the eye, because it can no longer fixate and fuse between the two eyes, it will go to its resting natural state. To determine the resting position, we must break fusion, and that's the critical part of a cover test, is breaking fusion to determine the resting state of the eye. Now let's look again. We don't actually get to see through that cover test, so we actually only have opaque paddles. So there's a couple things we can look at. Here we've now looked at an opaque paddle, and all we're going to see as we put it on there is what the eye does after we return it. In this case, I'll play it one more time for you. We see that the eye that fixates maintains fixation and doesn't change position. We then break the fusion with a cover paddle, and that, like I said, that right eye maintains fixation, does not move. However, the left eye has to now come out once the cover paddle is moved. This is an Eso fixation. When we do this, because the occluder is opaque and we can't see, there's only two things we can pay attention to at all. What did the free viewing eye do? And what did the covered eye do when it was uncovered? Those are the only two factors we can look at. So what happens in this example we've been talking about? One, what did the free viewing eye do? It didn't do anything. It maintained fixation the whole time. That means there's no tropia, no strabismus, nothing wrong with that eye, and everything is fixated. Now, what did the covered eye do when it was uncovered? It moved out to regain fixation. That's what makes this an Eso fixation, is the eye was in and has now had to move out to regain fixation. So this is an esophoria. Let's look again at another example. Same questions. What did the free viewing eye do? And what did the covered eye do when it was uncovered? In this case, we cover up the right eye, the fixating eye. Our eye on the left has to move out to gain fixation. So this is atropia. This is atropia or strabismus. We then uncover the eye, and what did the non-fixing uncovered eye do? It doesn't move at all. So let's repeat this. What did the free viewing eye do? Well, in this case, it moved out to regain fixation. So this is atropia. It was in, so it had to move out. So that makes it eso. So it's an esotropia. What did the covered eye do? When it was uncovered, it maintained fixation. It's the dominant eye. Let's watch this in the clinic.
All right, so for the cover test, you want to set your target at the end of the room to be 1 to 2 lines above the VBA. So this patient is able to see 20/20 in each eye, so we're going to set the target at 20/25. So now have the patient go ahead and look at the letter at the end of the room and try and keep it clear. And I typically start from the nose, because what that allows is if the patient has strabismus, it's easier to kind of confuse the patient and pick up on an alternating strap. So what you'll want to do is alternately cover each eye and look for movement in the other eye. So as I cover the right eye, I'm looking for movement in the left eye. As I cover the left eye, I'm looking for movement in the right eye. My typical speed is to go cover, count in my head 1, 2, uncover, and allow the patient at least a couple seconds to pick up fixation. So as I'm covering her left eye, we're seeing that the right eye is picking out. And every single time I cover her left eye, that right eye picks out. As I cover her right eye, we don't see any movement in the left eye. Once we feel good about what's happening on the unilateral cover test, you now want to head into your alternating cover test, which the purpose of the alternating cover test is to either pull out aphoria or to get an idea for how large the aphoria is, or in this case, the strabismus is. The proper speed on an alternating cover test is to go 1, 2, pop, 1, 2, pop. If you go too quickly, then you won't see the full magnitude. You also want to make sure that each one eye is always covered at all